Welcome to CFA4. This is for Math 8, Jefferson Middle School. We will begin here with the CFA4 covered the properties of exponents. We are reviewing on Wednesday, February 6th. Students are expected to do the self-reflection and test corrections here. You would start with working out problem number 1. You're going to rewrite your answers as you solved it. When you get your paper back, that goes in this section. Watch the video, please, and work the problem out correctly, and then you can identify your error. At the end, your parent must sign your self-reflection so you can have entry into the test corrections, which are after school. Last week you received this summary of the properties of exponents. I've put this up on Google Classroom. We began with when we multiplied monomials and the bases were the same, then we added the exponents together. In division, when the bases are the same, we subtracted the exponents. When you took a power to a power, we multiplied, we have a power, 5 squared, cubed, so we multiplied the exponents together. And then if you have multiple terms, we call it product because it's multiplying, taken to a power, then both terms, 6 to the first, take the power, x squared cubed, so our final result 6 times 6 times 6, or 216, x squared cubed, 2 times 3 is x to the 6th. Finally, any number to the 0 power is equal to 1, and any number to a negative power, what we did was we moved from the numerator to the denominator. And we switched from a negative sign to a positive sign. So it moves it into a fraction, or vice versa. Problem number 1 from the CFA. 2 cubed times 3 times 5 squared. 2 cubed is 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8, times 3, and 5 squared is 25. Calculators were available on the test. The final answer was 600. Problem 2. Please feel free to pause the review of the CFA any time that you need to pause and do your test corrections. This we're going to use substitution. You're given that A equals -3 and B equals 2. It's important to use the parentheses to group this so you don't make any errors. It's -3 squared. And we'll use the parentheses here, minus 2 squared. -3 times -3 is +9, minus, and 2 times 2 is 4. And so 9 minus 4 is 5. Problem 3. The bases are 2 and 2. The property is division here. We're dividing. So when the bases are 2, you will subtract the exponents. 4 minus 2. Your final answer is 2 to the second power, or 2 squared, which is 2 times 2. Final answer was 4. Problem 4. You're multiplying here. The x's are the bases of x are the same. So you're going to add those exponents together, 2 plus 3. Then the y's are the same. Y, -4 plus 2. Okay. Well, x is to the 5th power, because 2 plus 3 is 5. Negative 4 plus 2 is negative 2. This was a correct answer, or you can move y to the negative 2 power, push it into the denominator, and make it a positive 2. So you end up with x to the 5th over y to the 2nd power, or y squared. Both answers earned a point, or either answer. Problem 5, you're going to multiply the coefficients. So you have 5 times 7. Again, this is multiplication. The x's, there's one x there, so it's 1 plus 3, and y is negative 5 plus 4. 5 times 7 is 35. X to the 4th power, that's 1 plus 3. Negative 5 plus 4 is negative 1. This was a correct answer, or because it's y to the negative 1, you can move the y to the negative 1, you move it to the denominator and make a positive 1. You end up with 35 x to the 4th over y. Problem 6. We have a division problem. It's different than multiplication problems because you subtract the exponents with the same base. So first off, we're looking at the coefficients can be divided. You have 6 still over 6. Now when we look at A, we have 2 minus, but that's a negative 2. We're going to end up with 2 minuses. And B, 4 minus negative 3. We're subtracting, but there's also negatives in the exponents. And that's okay. We know 6 divided by 6 is 1. This is going to become 2 negatives is going to become a plus. So we end up with a to the 4th power. And again, 2 negatives is the same as adding, so we end up with b to the 7th. That's the final answer. Problem 7, we're multiplying. The bases of m are the same, so we're going to add the exponents. 6 plus 3. And for n, notice that there's no 1 written here because it's missing. We have a 1 we need to put in there. It's 8 plus 1. We end up with m to the 9th, n to the 9th. Problem 8, we have a power raised to a power. We're going to multiply g 7 times 3, which is g to the 21. The reason why that power works is if you look at that expanded, it would be g to the 7th times g to the 7th times g to the 7th. And if you apply the other property where all the g base numbers were the same, you would add 7 plus 7 plus 7, and you'd still end up with g to the 21st power. Don't forget, this is power of a product. Two numbers are multiplying, so this is 3 to the 1st. We're going to take the 3, 1 times 4, k, 2 times 4. Power to a power, you multiply. So that's 3 to the 4th, k to the 8. 2 times 4 is 8. This was okay, or you could have multiplied 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 is 81, k to the 8. Either answer for number 9. Finally, we had problem number 10. It talks about a cube here and volume of a cube. Okay, well, if I have a cube and it has its perfect sides, all the sides are completely the same. This is a cube. And if it had a certain side length, well, in a cube, all the sides are the same length. To find the area of the bottom, it's side times side. And then for the third dimension, you multiply times the third side. So volume is equal to side times side times side. But we usually write that much more efficiently. That's 3 s's, or s cubed. In this case, the s is equal to 6m n to the 7th. So we can replace the s with 6m n to the 7th. So in this equation, I'm going to put a parentheses in for the s. In place of s, I'm going to write 6m n to the 7th. It's power of a product, so each of these factors are going to be taken to the third power. So I'm going to multiply 6, 1 times 3, m, 1 times 3, and n, 7 times 3. And I get my final answer. V is equal to 6 cubed, m cubed, n to the 21. Or if you want to multiply out 6 cubed, 216 m cubed n 21 was also the correct answer. So that's the end of the review. Again, you want to go back all the way and make sure that if you have a mistake that you haven't corrected, let's say for example, the second problem, a equals -3, b equals 2. However you answered it on your paper, again, rewrite it in the first rectangle. Do it correctly, but also reflect on your test. Good luck. And please come after school to take your retest.